Do you love Nintendo games? Well, you may end up not loving us as we take it upon ourselves to craft a list of what we think are the top 10 Nintendo games of all time. I'm Brenden Groom from Pass the Controller, and I'll be your host and moderator throughout this panel as we try and navigate our way through some of the most iconic games and franchises in gaming history. Joining me on this journey is an illustrious cast of certified Nintendo experts. Let's meet the panel. You may have seen him featured all over the gaming space, and most recently hosting some of IGN's E3 coverage, Cameron Hawkins. Cam, how are you tonight?
Hello, I am here to talk Nintendo games and probably be sad by the end of it.
For the viewers out there to get a feel for who you are, what is your favorite Mario power-up of all time?
Oh, the cat suit. 100% the cat suit.
I love it. I love it. I'm with you there. From Gears of War to God of War, game developer and writer over at Sony Santa Monica, Alana Pierce. Alana, how are you tonight?
Well, it's morning for me.
Oh, it's
10:50 a.m. here in Australia. But doing good, doing good.
What is your favorite Mario power-up of all time?
I was also going to say the cat suit, which I know is like very uninteresting,
Everyone's
but
gonna say the cat suit. It's just the best.
yeah,
It's just
it is the
not.
best.
No, they're not.
Tim's ready. He's already ready
Great,
to
but I mean, come on. No.
go. Up next, the co-founder of Kinda Funny. Let Tim host. Tim, fucking Gettys. Tim, how are you
Let them
tonight?
host is right. I'm fantastic. So thankful you guys have me to be part of this. Love talking Nintendo games. There's so many to choose from. What's going to make this hard is coming up with the final list because 10 of the best Nintendo games. Are you kidding me? But the second question, the best Mario power-up of all time, it's obviously the cape, right? Super Mario World, the best game in terms of physics, in terms of Mario's moveset. And the cape allows you not only an offensive maneuver, but also gives you a little bit of maneuverability, allows you to be agile and fly around, and you're not limited like you are with the Tanuki. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, that's
Okay.
what's up.
I wonder if Tim is making an early case for one of his picks. We shall see. Also, also joining us, host at 61 Indie, assistant producer at Striking Distance Studios, and the Waluigi Queen, Lily Zaldivar. Lily,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I've already had some drinks, so I'm good to go.
We love it. How are the cats tonight? Are the cats good?
Yeah, they're out of here because they're gonna cause a lot of chaos. So
They're
Yeah.
fitting the theme of the night, I'm sure, with the chaos.
yeah, pretty much, yes.
So what is your favorite Mario power-up?
Okay, expressing how chaotic and like the chaotic energy I'm bringing, I'm gonna pick the Tanuki.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
It's stupid. That's not a good argument for it.
I just love. I mean, get ready for my picks, everybody. They're pretty stupid. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it. And rounding us out, lead guides editor at Game Rant and host of the Positive Players podcast, Grayson Morales. Grace, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm fully vaxxed as of yesterday, so
Oh, yeah.
kind of feeling like crap,
Yay.
but I'm still excited to be here, talk about Nintendo. You guys know how much I love Nintendo, so I'm excited.
I'm loving it. What is your favorite Mario power-up?
Yeah, just me basic and go with the Katsu. It's the best. It's the best.
I'm
one.
shocked. Y'all are impressing me, man. Because 3D World never got
good.
enough love. Even now, even when it's on Switch, it's not getting enough
man.
love. So okay,
That is
okay.
true.
I wonder.
was hyping up 3D World when it was coming out. I was like, this is amazing.
I wonder if it's going to get enough love on this list. Again, we shall see. I am the only person here who is carrying this weight of knowing the chaos that is about to happen. So let's just get right into it.
Excited. I'm so excited.
We'll go over the rules for those of you tuning in. To start down our path, we are going to work our way towards the top 10 Nintendo games. Each of us will pick 3 different games. Nobody knows who has picked what besides me, just to make sure there was no duplicate picks. And from that 18, we'll whittle it down to what we think are the 10. We're not going to put them in order because that would be another 3-hour show, and we don't have the time for that. So, to kick us off, Cam, what is your first pick?
Yeah, so my first pick is the best Pokemon game, Pokemon Crystal, for the Game Boy Color.
Okay.
Pokemon Crystal, I think is in the discussion for the best JRPG ever made. I think it is definitely a top 10 Nintendo game. I think that I think this game is just incredible. I think the music, the art style, the story, everything about this game, like I really can't think of a flaw, like legitimate criticism about this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm this might come up later, but I know that Heart Gold Soul Silver is also like a near perfect remake of this game.
That's what I was gonna say. Because I would
but-
think more people would go with those two.
I personally go with Crystal because I prefer the art style and the music over. I know
It
that
sounds
there's,
pretty
like,
subjective, Cam. Sounding
It is
pretty
subjective.
subjective.
Yeah, this is our subjective picks to the list.
No, they have to be objective, Cam. You
No,
try.
no. So that's my reason. Like, hey, if someone picks Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I'll say it right now. Like, I'm still gonna fight for Crystal, but I am going to say that, like, I'm not gonna be upset. Like, I think as long as we get Johto on here, because Johto's the best generation of Pokemon, then
is it though?
But and also the best
Yes,
cartridge.
absolutely
best,
yes.
The best cartridge of any game ever as well.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you the cartridge.
Okay.
Look at this.
All right. All right.
See, the Game Boy Color, that bump, that's not doing anyone any favors, man. I love the color, but it's kind of, I don't know if it's the best cartridge.
What? No, come on.
Alana, do you want to take us to your first pick?
Yeah, my first pick's really easy, and I'm so shocked that none of you picked it. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It was difficult to pick a Zelda game, but I went with Ocarina of Time, because of the tremendous impact that it had on the industry in a long-term way, and that games now are still very much inspired by Ocarina of Time. I remember doing an interview with Tim Schafer, and he was like, I look forward to the day when every single video game is not just a dev being inspired by Ocarina of Time because we all played it. The map size for Nier Automata was just, they were like, we were trying to figure out the perfect map size. They just made it the exact same size as Ocarina of Time. Basically, it's had this tremendous and long-lasting impact on the industry in a very, very positive way, as well as for a lot of us being a really nostalgic, eye-opening thing as a kid. I remember just like running out into that vaguely open world and being eyes wide as a child on the floor with my Nintendo 64 being like, oh my god, this is what video games can be. I feel like it had such an impact on so many people and is still fun to play. So, Ocarina of Time.
Nothing but
Easy.
facts. Nothing but facts.
Exactly.
Tim, let us hear your first pick.
I'm going to go with one that is the first video game I ever beat. And more than that, is one that does not get nearly enough love, despite being in one of the most popular franchises of all time. And that is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. And the reason that I choose this over some of the other ones, I'm not saying it's necessarily better than the others. I'm just saying that I'm my number one pick that I want to give the shout out using my time in this platform to discuss. Yoshi's Island is the final time we got a brand new 2D Mario game with a fresh art style, with something new to kind of put out there. We got the new Super Mario Brothers games that they just keep doing over and over and over, and no hit on those. New Super Mario Brothers U is fantastic from a level design perspective, but when it comes to Yoshi's Island, it was this perfect blend of entirely different 2D platforming than we've seen from Mario before, with the introduction of Yoshi and the whole kind of like more adventure side of things. And I like that it kind of was a precursor to what we end up getting in the N64 era of Mario 64 with the more collectathon type thing of getting all the different stars. Yoshi's Island's the closest we've ever gotten to explore this vast 2D level in the way that we now play Mario Odyssey or play something like that. On top of that, the boss battles are some of the most epic things ever seen in 2D games, period. And definitely some of the most epic things you've ever seen in a Mario game. And I love that they just keep upping the gimmicks and the insanity, but it always works out. And I think that it is a very special game. The one thing that I think it has over any other Mario game is the level design is purely impeccable from top to bottom the entire way through. So many secrets, so much fun to be had, and it's a fantastic experience that I think gets overlooked for obvious reasons. I think it being called Mario World 2 did a disservice to the game, but it is a fantastic video game.
Also, that song.
Oh, so good.
Come on, man.
Good stuff.
My biggest gripe with that game isn't about the game itself. It's about we see what a Yoshi game can be, and we've never gotten back to what it could be.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Trust me. It hurts no one else more than me. And I'll even take Yoshi's Island DS. It did some things right. It did a lot of things wrong. New Yoshi's Island. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Yoshi's Story. I'm sure there are fans out there that are of a certain age, but there we go.
Lily, take us down the path to chaos.
Okay, I'm going to start off with one that's very basic. It's not a big deal, but I'm going to put down on the list Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, the reason why is because I believe that a lot of people dismiss this game when it first was leaked. And I'm not talking about the one that Nintendo just did, because that's on Nintendo, but the one before, when it was released before it was even announced. Like, people found out that it was like a Mario game with Rabbids, and I think a lot of people dismissed it and thought it was like a really dumb idea and that it wasn't going to do well. But this game, at the end of the day, did really well. Shigeru Miyamoto's super proud of it. I mean, they just announced like a sequel. It has a lot of replay value. The soundtrack is composed by Grant Kirkhope. Like, there's all of the characters, all the Rabid characters were designed by Ubisoft themselves. They had no help from Nintendo. It's a very like fantastic game, and I know it's really new, but I think it's accessible for everyone, adults and kids. And I think it's just really fun overall, and I think it should be recognized for a good and surprising what do you call it, like um I don't know what it's called. I forgot the word, but like, when you combine two things, I guess it's
Like a partnership.
yeah,
It is
it's just really yeah, it's just really interesting to like have those things come together and then be so great. And like it's one of those games where you can look back at the Ubisoft conferences and remember the moment where they showed Davide's face being so proud of this game. Like, I think it's just something that, while it's new, should be remembered and should be considered as top 10. Like, no matter what, I've never heard anyone talk about this game and not love it. So, and also there's like a character, like they have a Donkey Kong Rabbid, and then also they have a character named Phantom of the Wapara. Come on, guys. I mean, it's the first rabbit to speak fluent English. Like, that's kind of wild. But yeah, I
Yeah,
put that one on the list.
Yeah, I think Kingdom Battle is really great. I get what you're saying, Lily. Like, if before that game came out, if you like told anyone like, "Hey, there's going to be a Mario and Rabbids game, and it's going to be really, really good," everyone would say you're fucking crazy. But it's not. And it's really,
Yeah.
really great. And
More than that, Mario and Rabbids, and it's an XCOM style.
Exactly.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the most
Exactly.
surprising
like-
part of
it's-
it.
Well, and then it's not only that, but like just going back to to E3 that just happened, like they just announced, right? Like it would have been like the biggest surprise at the Ubisoft conference had Nintendo not spoiled it. But it's like they changed all of the like the weapon balances and everything. Like the characters have different weapons. They put more into it, and I think it's like representative of the fact that Kingdom Battle did so well, and I think a lot of people liked it, and nobody was disappointed. Like nobody was like, "Man, are you kidding me? Another game like this?" Like everyone was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So I think it should be on the list of top 10. So
For
that's
sure.
my pick.
I love it. I love it. Grayson, where are we at? Where are we going with your list?
So the one I'm just gonna pick first, it's just basically just because Cam said Crystal, I picked Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So I mean, listen, all the things that you said, are in this game, and this game is just better. It's a remake. That art style for this game is so beautiful. The music is so good. That chiptune music, like on the DS, just sounds incredible. They added a lot of not a ton of content, but like these fun little side mini games and activities, and just like just like White Crystal was great. You're able to go through 2 entire Pokemon regions, which has like still not been done in any mainline Pokemon game, which is crazy. I don't know why they haven't done it again, but like I feel like if we're going to pick one of these Gold, Silver, Crystal games, I think it has to be the remakes, Right?
Does that cancel out?
So where we're at
Crystal?
right now is they're both on the list. Will they both stay on the list to the end? I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll find out.
Okay.
Moving back to Alana. Alana, what is your second addition to this list? Oh, I guess I should go actually.
Yeah,
probably-
that seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that
We
makes
we
sense.
overlooked
That's
you.
only fair.
I'm not
That's only
important. It don't matter. So my first pick is gonna go with arguably the game that made me love video games. Which I probably didn't have a choice because it was one of the first games, if not the first game I've played, and that's Super Mario Bros. 3. This game, to me, is the best 2D Mario. I know a lot of people would say Mario World, but for me, I think that Mario 3 does a lot of things that obviously were different to Mario at the time. They opened up this whole verticality with the Tanuki suit and the ability to fly. It introduced us to a bunch of other suits. The frog suit might be trash to use, but it's like low-key one of the best suits. I'm sorry. And the addition of things like the whistles, the flutes to be able to like move through worlds and stuff. And I remember you know, uncovering those secrets as a kid or finding them in Nintendo Power and thinking like it blew open my mind to what like a Mario game could be at that point. Especially going back and revisiting it and playing it up against Mario 1, Mario 2, and so on. But for me, it's easily one of the best platformers of all time. It's easily, in my opinion, the best 2D Mario of all time. And, you know, I don't think much more needs to be said about Mario 3, but maybe it will later. We'll see. Alana, where are you at?
Okay. My number 2 here is Super Metroid. I don't even know how anyone could argue against this, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I feel like we all probably feel that way. The original Super Metroid does an incredible job, like still to this day, incredible, of pairing the art style, the gameplay, and the music in a way that none of those things are lost, and they all feed into this same extremely atmospheric machine. That even now, I feel like I'm blown away by Super Metroid. And again, clearly my picks leading into this has had just a lasting impact on the industry. We wouldn't have a Metroidvania if we didn't have Super Metroid. We wouldn't have so many of these elements of even level design that were so clearly inspired by Super Metroid. The atmosphere really is the thing that makes this game like top 10 even video games of all time, let alone Nintendo games of all time. But, you know, I feel like it's such an important piece of Nintendo's history and legacy that this game exists. Clearly still being supported as seen by the most recent E3. But overall, like, I can't floor it. I feel like this is almost a perfect game. And every Metroid that's come after is just trying to be Super Metroid. Not that any of them are, well, not that they're all bad. some weaker titles in the franchise, but yeah, Super Metroid, 1994.
I love it. Tim, where's your second pick?
Alana's killing it. I mean, she's making this like this list is like getting filled out. I mean, I just a quick tangent story. Like, I grew up obviously playing video games, but really there was a whole history that I hadn't played, like, because I was born in '89, which meant that there was so much before me. And I remember growing up reading Electronic Gaming Monthly, and their issue 100 had the top 100 games of all time, and that was my Bible, like reading through this, like about the history of everything. And I think that one had Tetris as the #1 game of all time. But this, in the 150th issue, they did it again, and they made Super Metroid the #1. And I was like, oh, you motherfucker,
Good game.
you got it. Both of them classics, obviously, but like Super Metroid is that well regarded. So definitely fantastic choice. Jumping off of that though, I'm gonna go with another one that is on the, not obscure by any means, but I don't think this is on most people's top 10s. But I'm going to go with Star Fox 64. And the reason for that is it's a remake of the Super Nintendo Star Fox, which was fantastic for really pushing the technical boundaries of what the Super Nintendo can do. It was one of the first kind of 3D games ever on consoles. And the 64 remake really was a first in so many ways, including voice acting on the N64, which now, of course, seems like such a duh. Well, I guess not with Nintendo, but you know, for video games, it's such an obvious thing to have voices and more than that, character. And I think that that's what really stuck with me is there were so many lines, the do a barrel roll, the Slippy just being annoying, like all of that. It felt so real and immersive. And on top of that, it was the game to introduce the Rumble Pack, like another thing that now we're just like, oh yeah, games have vibration, but this was the first time that happened. And it was such a complete package where the easy, medium, hard difficulties were dependent on the paths you went in each super creative level, with, again, boss fights that are just so imaginative and just immersive. I'm going to keep using that word because that's what this game was. It was essentially Nintendo's Star Wars. And it's like, need I say more? Like, there's so much there. Getting to the end, getting the lore and the backstory of Fox's dad and all that stuff. I felt like I was really doing something. Like a lot of games, you're saving the world, saving the universe, whatever. I actually felt like I did in Star Fox 64, and I think that that's something very special.
I agree with you. I think like Star Fox has arguably like some of the best intercast like conversations, like dialogue, and I would love for Star Fox to come back in a big way because I feel like they could really blow it out of the water with a good modern Star Fox, and just see more of those characters.
Still waiting on that one.
One day.
That brings us to you, Lily, your second addition to the list.
Okay.
Oh god.
So I'm gonna pick WarioWare Touch. Now, the reason why I picked it is because I think it's one of the better of the WarioWare series, and I know that a lot of people would say it's their favorite Nintendo DS game. It's like one of the more bizarre WarioWares out of all of them because when you look at it, you're like, why is there a bunny guy sitting on the windowsill? Why do you have to blow this guy off this? Like, it's such a bizarre game for a WarioWare, but I also think that it's just really fun in general. And I think, just like given the direct as well, like they put a lot of time and attention to WarioWare, right? We got WarioWare for the 3DS, and then we have now WarioWare Get It Together on the Switch. So I think WarioWare in general should be considered at least in the top. I know it's like one of the more bizarre ones. Like, I won't lie to you. Like, I'm the one that's like, I think it's because it's just really playable and super fun. But yeah, I don't really have like a big reason. Like, it's just one of those games where replay value, there's so much of it. And then I think like it's the first game to introduce Ashley, who has always been an iconic character, both in like just the series itself, but also like when you see her in Smash, everyone knows who she is. But yeah, I just think it's one of those games where it'd be super fun, and I think it's a memorable one. But yeah, I mean, I'm not hitting out bangers here because I just assumed everyone else would. I'm just bringing out the fun ones.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
listen,
Mario
The game
Rant
was also just like the game was also just use the DS's screens and a touchscreen to like
it used
hold the
everything
like
about the
yeah,
DS.
it was
Like
crazy.
you use the bottom screen, you use like the microphone.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like Twisted though, where you couldn't because with Twisted you were able to move it. I think the DS also did. It took a lot of what
I don't remember.
Twisted started and like improved on it.
I think the
I do,
DS had gyro in it.
yeah, I think so. But I know the 3DS one did, and then obviously Get It Together most likely will too. But yeah, touched.
I love it. Grayson, what is your next addition to the list?
So the next one I'm gonna pick is Super Mario Odyssey. This is one of my. I mean, I think this is the best 3D Mario game. It kind of took time for me to like make that decision. Like, oh my God, this is my favorite Mario game. But I think it's just incredible. The way that Mario controls in the 3D space is like so perfect and refined and just feels so good to play. Like I finished that game like 3 times at this point, I think, and I still think about going back, even though I've collected all the moons already. It explores. I mean, oh God, it rewards. When people explore, you go into these little
Mhm.
nooks and crannies, and you're finding a moon over here, a moon over there, and it's just so satisfying. You're getting like this quick dose of like serotonin in your body every time you find one of these things. It just feels so good to play. I know people have issues with that game because of there's too many moons, I think, and it doesn't feel as rewarding to get them. But I think the level design was just really good, and just the way they paid homage to classic Mario, like that whole Mario event that in New Donk City with the when Pauline is singing, the song. Like that moment is one of my favorite moments in gaming, and I think it's just incredible. I just think it's an incredible game.
Do you guys remember when it was announced, like not the first time, but the second time with the date, and like Mario threw the cap and then went inside the frog, and everyone was like, "Yo, what the hell? What is happening?" And then you
I didn't
do
even
it
mention the
again.
power ups. The
Yeah, and
power
you're
ups are
like,
so good.
yeah, does that count as a power up where he uses Cappy? Because I'd throw that one down.
I
That's a
guess
good one.
it's better than Flood.
Like a limited time power up, I guess.
Damn sure.
Cam, we are now past the 10, so your next pick does not get put on the list yet. So we're just filling out the 18 now. So what is your next pick, my
Wait,
friend?
Brenden, do you not get one too?
I keep
Or do you
skipping
only get
myself.
one?
No,
Yeah.
I can go again.
Wait,
I
no,
guess.
wait.
No, can't we
Yeah.
rotated?
No,
Can't.
it is you.
Yeah, it
is
would
you
be
and then
Cam
it's
now.
me.
No, it's
Oh,
Cam
is
next.
me?
Yes, because
Yeah, it is you.
Alana went first.
And then you, Brenden.
This is very professional.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So my second pick is Fire Emblem Awakening, which
Oh,
in my opinion is the best 3DS game. Period. Not just Nintendo.
Definitely not
just
true,
on
but
the
okay.
system. Yes, we've had this argument before, Bernard. I don't want to hear it.
Oh boy.
It's not.
And it literally saved this franchise out west. Like this was supposed to be the final Fire Emblem game to come out in the West, but because of how well it was received and sold, they continued localizing the game. And this game is just a complete masterpiece in my eyes. Like I think it's a 10 out of 10 game. I think that the story is incredible. I think the ending to the game is one of the best endings to a video game. I think all the characters are super well written and interesting. And when they introduce like the characters, the children in the game, I mean, it's not introduced, it's in previous games too, but like the children and how and like all the children, I legitimately like wanted to learn their stories and their relationship with their parents, and all the conversations that they had. Like it's just such a well written game, and I just love everything about it. The gameplay is great. It's just a masterpiece in my eyes, and I think that even if you're not into like JRPGs or even because I'm not super big into like SRPGs. Like I think because I'm bad at them. Like I like them, but I'm bad at them. That's a better way to play it, to explain it. And I just think this game is absolutely incredible, and everyone should play it. And that's why I think it should be on top 10.
I'm supporting
Absolutely
Cam on this
agree.
one. Yep.
Let's go!
I'm back in Cam.
Let's
I think
go!
like if I think about like the best 3DS games ever, the ones that aren't Zelda are probably Shovel Knight and 3D Land, right? And then the other one would be Fire Emblem. Like that game is very 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 good. I think it probably would have I don't know, maybe a 95 average score. I'm not actually sure what the Metacritic says, but it is a fantastic game. Multiple art styles that all work really well together. Really compelling.
They don't all
It's-
work
it's-
well together. Give them some feet.
Mostly work well together.
Yes,
I do think it belongs on the list.
I also
Amen.
want to back up what Lana said about Metacritic. On Metacritic, it is the highest ranked game that originally released on the 3DS at a 92.
Wow.
Yeah, it does have
Interesting.
It's
Oh,
a
92.
And your
Yeah.
user rating 9.0. So
I mean,
overall, it's a
it's
straight A.
it's utterly fantastic. I mean, it is,
Mhm.
I think, easily the best Fire Emblem game. It's not my favorite. My favorite is Path of Radiance, but that is mainly because I love the characters and the story of that game so much. But from a gameplay perspective, Awakening was so good. The support system was so fantastic. And you bring it up, the kids were there before, but because of the support system, the kids meant more than ever. And playing through it is rewarding on multiple playthroughs, everything about it. Fantastic. And to Alana's point, the art style is so killer. Like having the pixel art as well as the 3D art and going through, that's something that I miss in Three Houses going back. Is like I
Yeah.
love that pixel
Agreed.
look
Yeah.
so much.
I agree. Yeah.
So what do we do here then
Do you
to
want
get it on to 10?
Yeah, do you want to make a case to pull something off here, Cam?
Well,
I'm
yeah,
fine with pulling WarioWare Touched because I do believe that Awakening should be on the list. And that's me saying it. I picked WarioWare Touch just for fun because I do think it should be an honorable mention.
I mean,
but
if
I
you're
would put
killing your own
Awakening.
child, I'm not going to deny it. So
All right.
I'm gonna
yeah,
listen.
Look,
I will die
I'm-
on. I will die on the hill of Kingdom Battle.
Okay.
I'm letting you know. But
I'm not gonna argue for Touched over
Neither am I.
over Awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I agree. Like, I
Okay.
believe that Awakening did save the franchise, and it's like for the Western world.
Yeah.
So like, I cannot, and it does. It's not only that, but it has a ton of replay value. Like you can go back to it even in 2011.
Yeah, one of my
2012.
issues with WarioWare Touch specifically is that if I remember correctly, that game was only like 4 or 5 hours long.
Yeah, you
and I
can
feel
play
like
it
that
in
was-
one
Yeah.
sitting. It's
Yeah.
for people. It's for people like me who enjoy seeing how long they can go. Like I think I've gone
Yeah,
up
for
to
sure.
like 300 play. Like that's like just the weirdo in me though. Like there's a small niche of people who are like me who are like, how far can you go in WarioWare?
Something tells me the rest of the swaps going forward aren't going to be that copacetic, but who knows? We shall see.
we'll see.
We shall
We'll
see.
see.
Can you like tell us what the list is actually, or like?
So currently,
I
go ahead, Alana.
Pokemon Crystal, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Metroid, Star Fox 64, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Super Mario Odyssey.
There we
Bangers.
have it. It's
All
a
All right,
pretty,
everybody.
it's a pretty
You did it,
stacked
everybody.
list. So
Good job, everybody.
my next pick is one of those games where I share the same sentiment Alana did with Ocarina of Time. I don't know how no one else mentioned this, but I'm glad to be the one to do it. Breath of the Wild, which I think is arguably the best game ever made. I don't know what to say negative about this game because I don't think there are any. Sure, you can nitpick some things. Maybe you don't like weapon degradation, what have you. But for me, there are a few times in my entire life playing video games where I feel like a game resets how I look at games going forward. And for me, the way Breath of the Wild made me feel, it sort of broke a lot of games for me after that. Like, it was very hard for me.
Just like the weapons.
Which I like. It's a positive. It
I
makes
think it's a positive too.
consistent
Okay, all right, cool.
challenge.
I like it.
Just a joke. Just a joke.
I love it. I love it. I think Cam is the only person who hates that, but
Listen,
it's right to be wrong. You know, it's okay.
Stop attacking me now. Listen. Like,
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
Why do I gotta be the guy? Why do I?
You don't have
why
to be
can't
the
I just
guy.
Why can't I?
He
No,
chose
but
to be this guy.
But I'm
You
also
could
the only
just
guy
not.
here that doesn't. I'm the
You
only
don't
guy
have
here
to.
that doesn't love Breath of the Wild. So it's just like I don't know.
I don't love it either. Like, so you're not the only one. I'm
Okay,
here for the fun though. Go ahead, Cam. You can go though.
No,
Die on this
like
cell.
here's the thing. Going into this panel, I knew that Breath of the Wild would be on this list. I'm not going to fight to not have it on the list because I know I'm going to lose. It is a pointless fight to make.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to move forward.
Great, thanks,
move
Cam.
forward.
It does belong on the list. It
Yeah.
is a fantastic game.
100% belongs on the list.
I would agree that it does belong on the list. It isn't like my favorite game, but I believe the majority do like it. My biggest thing about it was that I'm not a big, unfortunately, I'm just not a big puzzle person. And like a lot of the game to me felt like I just went to every single, shrine and had to do that. So eventually it just got really redundant to me. But I think I'm in like a very small minority about that. I didn't mind the weapon degradation. It was just, that was like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's also that I just didn't play the game. I don't know. I played the game a bit later than when it came out, so I missed the hype on it. I think that's just that's just a me thing, you guys. Just personal thing.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. This is therapy right now. We talk about this.
I think the game just does so many wonderful things. I love the shrines. I'm happy shrines kind of took the place of dungeons. I think I don't need to argue for this game anymore. No one's gonna touch
The
this.
dungeons are incredible too. Like some of those moments where you figure out how the dungeons work for the first time. Like I got stuck for ages lifting the trunk and then figuring it out and being like, oh my God. And to have that moment as an adult hits different because those are the moments I had in Ocarina of Time all the time. And then when you have that later in life and it manages to replicate that amazement, even though so many amazing video games with, $100 million budgets have come out in between, for it to still have that impact on you is very impressive. Also, just the sense of wonder and discovery, like seeing the mazes, the labyrinths for the first time, seeing that on the map, I was like, what the fuck is this? Or anything that's glowing, the stuff in the sky. There's so much about this game that is just like a world that you just want to get lost in and explore every single inch of. And I did that, and I feel like I'm better for it.
Oh yeah.
But it should be on the list.
I think that's what makes Nintendo really special is whenever we're making lists like this, there's a lot of conversation that I feel normally comes down to, okay, each franchise gets one rep. And that is because you're trying to like represent a bunch of different types and genres of games. And I think that Nintendo is probably the only developer that I think easily an argument can be made, and we'll see it at the end of the day at this list, that they have multiple franchises that deserve multiple spots because they make their games different. It still might be Zelda, but Breath of the Wild and Ocarina both deserve spots. They're very different games. There's similarities, but they're different. In the same way with Mario Odyssey, Mario 3, Mario 64, I can go on. There are so many Mario games that, yes, of course, it stars a plumber with a hat, period. I get it. But when you're talking about the video game of what's there, it is very different. I think we're just starting to see that even with a storied franchise like Final Fantasy, that I can finally start to see an argument made where it's like, okay, you choose your favorite of the classics, but you also need to include Final Fantasy 14 because what it's doing is so special to so many people that it's a little bit different. So Breath of the Wild, Ocarina, both of them. Let's go.
So to Tim's point, we should put Breath of the Wild on and get rid of Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, probably.
No, I mean,
look,
because he didn't mention it in his list of good Mario games.
You said Odyssey. I heard Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey's great, but I mean, like I said, I think Mario deserves multiple spots on the list.
I think the low-hanging fruit is Crystal.
I mean, I think that there's an argument to be made now that we need to do Crystal versus Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And I will say that when I was asked to make my top 3 list, Heart Gold and Soul Silver was on my list, and I was told to come up with others because it was taken. So
I'm in agreement. Heart Gold and Soul Silver over Crystal.
And my biggest reasoning, Cam, is I think that they took the art style and ran with it, and I think that Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the personally most beautiful Pokemon game I've ever seen. I love that kind of pseudo 3D top down design they got going on, but still with the pixel art. I love the pixel art. I love that it included the return of the Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu following you, but now it could be any of them. And the biggest thing for me is the reason Johto, the reason Gen 2 is so special is that it was a direct sequel to Red and Blue. It was the characters that we grew up loving, the gym leaders. Koga was no longer a gym leader. He's now in the Elite Four. How dope is that? It felt like the world was growing with us. We don't see that enough in Pokemon anymore. And then to beat the Elite Four, go back to Kanto, and it's like we're going through the whole game in Crystal and in Gold and Silver specifically. That was always special. And of course, ending on Mount Silver, facing yourself from the first game. Best video game moment of all time. I will accept no arguments. To me, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver did a better job of adding that second region being actually fun to play, because in the Game Boy Color games and Game Boy games, everyone was so low leveled and you're just kind of breezing through it, and it felt very kind of half-assed. Whereas at least in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it wasn't full-assed, but it was like 3/4 assed, so it had a little bit more. There was like a little bit of a curve, and you were getting like, when you faced the gym leaders in the Elite Four, their levels were higher than like 20 or 30. And when you're coming in with your like, level 80, whoever the hell, and it's just like, you're just running through it. So that's why I'd go Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I think none of us disagree with you except maybe Cam.
Yeah, no one disagrees. So
I didn't even mention the Poke Walker. I use that accessory so much too.
No,
I
yeah,
go to school every day.
I could gush about Heart Gold and Soul Silver. For me, it's just like literally, it just goes down to just I like the music and the art style more. I still think the art style and the music's great in Heart Gold Soul Silver. It's just like, again, so it can go.
Okay.
I should have picked something else to take that spot. Another gimme, but it is what it is. To be fair, I called Cam about an hour ago, gave him a heads up that multiple people picked Heart Gold Soul Silver. He should maybe get rid of Crystal, and he wanted to fight for it. He wanted to
I
go
appreciate
for it.
that, Cam. I respect that. I respect that.
You have integrity. I appreciate it.
It's my second favorite game of all time. I'm not. How am I not gonna fight?
Yeah, how are you not gonna?
Yeah.
What's your
at
first?
least we have Johto on the list.
Yeah.
Johto's being represented somehow.
Yeah.
For now, I don't know.
We're gonna get rid of it. That's it. Yeah, I think we're all right with that one.
That brings us to Tim. Tim, what is your third pick?
Oh, okay. My third pick, this is a weird one. And I'm kind of in the Cam situation where I'm choosing an entry in the franchise that most of the things are better than the rest, but there are some elements that are a little lesser than, and that makes it difficult. But obviously, I'm Tim Geddes. I got to have Super Smash Brothers on the list somehow. And I'm going with Ultimate. And I feel like I have to go with Ultimate because everyone is here. It's all about the cast. At the end of the day, this is a game, this is a franchise I've played for the majority of my life with everyone from my closest friends to my closest enemies. And all the way, I've had fun being able to play all the different characters. And I love that this game brought them all back from all the way from 64, including Melee with the weird additions of Pichu. I never thought we'd see Pichu and Young Link coming back in a modern game. That's insane. And especially to look at what Wii U started with the third-party characters, or the crazy third-party characters. Obviously, Brawl started Sonic and all that. But when we get into Cloud and Ryu and all of that, that's insane. But to get where we are with Ultimate, continuing it, Banjo-Kazooie, Sephiroth's in this game. Are you kidding me? Joker from Persona 5. That doesn't even make sense to be on a Nintendo platform. There's so much ridiculous shit going on with that. Sure, Ultimate doesn't have the best single-player campaign. Obviously, Brawl had Subspace Emissary, and the cutscenes were great. The gameplay sucked. Let's all be real about that. But the cutscenes were awesome, and I would have loved to see something similar in Ultimate. It doesn't have the gameplay of Melee, the pro gamerness of Melee. I was never that guy. So I'm okay with that, and for those reasons, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Ultimate's the
Did
best
anybody
in the franchise.
put Melee on the list? Then
What?
if nobody is intending to put Melee, that's the only time that I think this gets complicated. Then I think we have to include Ultimate.
I mean,
Well,
do you want me to reveal this knowledge?
We'll see. No, we'll see.
Oh
We'll
no.
see.
Okay.
Oh,
no.
God.
I mean,
Do we got a brawlologist here?
Yes, there is a Brawl apologist. Not me.
Who?
You.
Me?
You love Brawl.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I love Brawl too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you're
me
not.
too.
This isn't a fight for Brawl. This is
Here's the
about
thing,
Ultimate.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, I was thinking about like having Brawl as my last pick, but I knew Tim was going to show up with Ultimate, so I was just, and I said,
And
I
if
knew
Tim
that
didn't, I
was-
would have. And if I
Yeah,
didn't,
you were going
Grayson
to.
would
Yeah,
have. Like,
exactly.
it's the
So
best
Put it on my
Smash
list
game.
too. Yeah.
I knew
I-
no.
It
But,
is.
It is because it has like the cast, but Subspace
the best-
Emissary is
it-
still like the best thing that out of Smash ever, if you ask me.
I just think the Brawl intro song is way better than the Ultimate.
Oh, and the
one.
Brawl intro song.
Yeah, it is.
No
Iconic.
Matsu. Are you kidding me?
So
But that's the-
good.
but
No, I'm
like
sorry.
I know.
I mean,
I
come
don't
on,
wanna-
the Brawl song, Tim, is just literally.
No, it's amazing.
So good.
That
It's
song
amazing.
is
So good.
ridiculous, and like every
It's so
time you
good.
hear it, you just know what the hell it's from.
Listen,
But
we,
yeah,
we
guess
could
what?
go down a whole separate rating the Smash games.
Ultimate.
That
Yeah.
song is also in Ultimate. Just saying.
Facts.
But is
Yeah.
Ultimate
Yeah.
getting on the
Ultimate
list? Okay,
That's the
because
question.
I still think, Tim, I'm sorry, Yoshi's Island shouldn't be here, and I'm very sorry about it.
Yo,
But that's the one that's got to go. Not because, and I do think it's a good game. I know there are people in the industry who say it's a bad game. I disagree. It's not a bad game, but I do think it's overly long and a little bit tedious. And I think your positive of listing the collectathon is actually a negative in this game that spanned a whole series of games that were like, now go find 100 things, even though it's not fun and you'll need a guide.
Like,
we're not
honestly,
talking about those games.
Is
We're not
Banjo
talking about
Kazooie
those-
going to come up today too?
I will say, I get where you're coming from, but I'm looking at this list and like, look, the arguments can be made here, but I will say I'm looking at this list and it's looking very solid to me. But there's one exception, and that's Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's a fantastic game, but that is an 8 out of 10 if I've ever seen one. Amongst
Also in agreement
definitely would
there.
not say-
gods here, amongst
I wouldn't say
gods,
that.
and I think personally, there's no way that Yoshi's Island is below Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
I think you're probably right there.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't.
It's just when I look at Super Mario Bros. 3 and I'm like, okay, and then you look at Yoshi's Island. It's just the disparity between those two games is so big. I think Tim is probably right. Both of them need to go.
I
And if I'm being
Mario
honest,
I-
Rabbids
so-
didn't
I would
actually
even
do
say-
that well.
I
Here's
think
the thing,
Yoshi's
Tim, like,
Island,
even if-
I would even put above Star Fox 64.
I
If I'm
think-
just
Yeah,
looking
I
at my.
I
Yeah,
think
I would
I
say,
think
like,
the best
I
way
would.
I think the best way to get through this is we all agree that Ultimate should be on the list, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we need to
Yeah.
agree upon what is coming off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think the three, like, I think the two weakest links is Mario and Rabbids, even though I love that game, and Star Fox 64. Like, I think Star Fox is great.
I agree.
But top
Yeah.
10,
I do have a lot of nostalgia for Star Fox, which is cheating.
I think nostalgia shouldn't be
Mechanically not
counted.
perfect. It's true.
but-
It's true.
I'm fine with the Star Fox being removed.
I'm also okay. Upset, but okay with Star Fox being removed.
I'll take it.
Keep
I'll take
in
it.
mind, we
Hold on,
still have
hold on, how
like
many
6
picks
more
do we have
games
left?
to get to.
Yeah, we have like
That's
six.
So
true.
there's
Okay,
gonna be a
well,
lot
fuck
of
being upset
more
then.
things.
We've got to do it. We've got to do it.
No feeling.
Six
No
more
feelings.
games.
We
Star Fox
we gotta
dies here
start-
today.
Star
Oh,
Fox is
man.
dead. I'm sorry, you'll never get a new game. You'll get Grippy Toad 2 before you get Star Fox
I
Ultimate.
love that game
I
though.
mean,
Grippy Toad is
I bet
great.
even an
Star Fox
F-Zero
Guard is
game
Shout out to
fantastic.
Mike Gondro, because I know he's sad if he's watching this right now.
So,
Great.
I love
Lily,
Star Fox.
so this brings us to your third pick.
I would actually like to go last, because let's be honest, my guy, you know my third pick.
I'll take it.
My
I'll
third
take it.
pick is my third pick is just Buck Wild.
You'll have the most chance of convincing the final swap. I'll let you move your picks.
I don't think I will. Let's be honest, but I think I do have a good argument about this one. But I,
All right. We could save it.
the
We
list
could
is-
save it to the
listen,
end.
the list is already an absolute banger. But I would like to
Sure.
throw this one for honorable mention. But
Okay.
no, skip me.
Okay. All right.
I just want to see what everyone else has.
Grayson, where does this put you?
I mean, mine's pretty controversial too. Mario Kart Double Dash. Okay. So I know a lot of people look down on this game, but man, like after coming off from Mario Kart 64 to Double Dash, I think that was so, I don't know, this is Nintendo doing Nintendo crazy things, like going from just like regular single kart racers to 2 people riding on a single cart, and they can switch back and forth, and you have special unique power-ups, and that's not even seen at all in recent Mario Kart entries, and it's just something
good
I
reason.
thought was like, it was so well, I thought it was I think it's a lot of fun, and
It
I
is
just
a
think
really fun game.
I love it. I love it. But
yeah, I know it's something that probably won't make it to the list, but
Is
I
it the
think
best
like
Mario Kart?
it's my favorite Mario Kart. So I guess it's subjective, but Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and yeah, it's just Nintendo during that GameCube era just did the craziest things with that, and like Pikmin and Mario Sunshine, and Luigi's
Sunshine,
Mansion.
Wind
Yeah, it's
Waker.
like crazy things that you wouldn't think they would do, and I just like appreciate that time period.
For sure.
Bob on Blast was Double
yeah.
Dash as well, right?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
fun, but that
Mm.
one is going to be a no from me. Very
Yeah.
fun game.
Does anybody
Yeah, I
But
don't
it's
think I
not-
can
double
argue
dash
against
on?
these
The
other games.
best,
to be honest.
you know?
I would put Double Dash over Kingdom Battle personally. But
I would as well.
So would I.
That's two. That's
So-
three.
All
Do
right.
we have a four?
I
Oh,
guess
that's
that's
four.
I guess that's
I
a.
would.
Okay,
I would also,
all right.
Unless
I
Lily
think
has an
Double Dash
argument.
is really,
Fight for it. Let Lily
Huh?
fight for it.
Do you have an
Lily-
argument to keep Rabbids over Double Dash?
dude. I told you when I came here that I'm just here for the fun. I'm not really here for any arguments. I think Kingdom
Aw.
Battle is great, but I'm also like, dude, Double Dash is hella fun. Let's be honest with each other.
Like if Mario Kart 9 just added the team implementation into and just,
Honestly?
like, with all the Mario Kart 8 stuff, it'd be perfect. It'd be a perfect.
Even if it's a separate mode or something.
you
Yeah, that's
know,
all I want from Mario Kart 9. It's like the two people on the same bike or the same cart, with the special ability, like the special team abilities in Mario Kart 9 with the Mario Kart 8 stuff. Like that'd be perfect for me.
have you guys ever played? Well,
Could
you
not
know what?
disagree more.
I'm not even gonna get into this conversation because I do have a question. But I'll ask it later.
Yeah, we should move on
Yeah,
to
we'll
the
keep
next.
going. We'll keep going. We'll
which-
keep going.
I cannot believe that. I mean, a Mario Kart needs to be on this list. I cannot believe that Double Dash is the one making it. But hey, you know what?
Yeah,
it would be Mario Kart 8, but
It's 8 Deluxe.
8 Deluxe
it
is
It
easy.
should be
Yeah.
8 Deluxe,
It is what it is.
absolutely. I think I just
Hey,
thought
we
that
all
one of you would
know.
put that in there.
Hey,
But you know
I
what?
would've-
You all
yeah, I
threw your
would've-
picks away. Someone said Yoshi's Island.
Yep.
You know, we're at
I
where we're at.
wouldn't- I wouldn't be mad.
Oh
if
my
we have-
god.
I just looked at the list. I had to throw something
yeah.
in the mix.
I wouldn't
It'd be
be
so
hey,
good.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad if 8 Deluxe was on the list. I'm just saying that like I'm not mad about Double Dash either. So
So this brings it to
It's
my
wrong, but yeah, go ahead.
my third
can agree
pick.
with that.
I struggled so hard with knowing what everyone else picked and what to put for my third pick. There were so many games I wanted to put, but I felt like I would be doing myself a personal disservice if I didn't say. And it really eked out Super Mario RPG by a little bit, because Legend of the Seven Stars is fantastic. But A Link to the Past is,
Thank you.
in my
Thank
opinion,
you.
it's in my opinion the
Yeah.
best 2D Zelda game. It rivals, Breath of the Wild, and for me, Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, and Link to the Past are like my holy trio of Zelda games. And for me, A Link to the Past, I didn't play that game when it came out. I was still young. I didn't play it till a little bit later, so I still have some nostalgia for it because I was, in high school or eighth grade or something when I first got to play that game, and that game became something that I played almost yearly for years. Like, that was a game that I would always go back to when it was summertime and I was out of school. It was like, this is the game that I'm going to play through again, because this game is just something special. The way it goes between Light World and Dark World, when you first experience that for the first time, I really hope that the sequel to Breath of the Wild has some of that duality, because I think that would really take the sequel over the edge. But anyways, I digress. I think Link to the Past arguably has some of the best music in the Zelda franchise. It has some of the best dungeon design, and I think it's just, it is a perfect game in my opinion. What I would take off of this list is stressing me out looking at it. I think I would have to probably, maybe, I don't know. I think Yoshi's Island is a good game, so I'm going to go after Double Dash. Sorry. I'm sorry, Grace.
A Link to the Past.
Whoa.
A Link to the Past is my favorite
Whoa.
Zelda game. It is such a good game, and I the thing that's getting me about where Double Dash is concerned, again, it feels weird to not have a Mario Kart. But how are you going to have
I'm fine
the way
with
that my
another.
list would read right now would be like Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, Mario Kart, Double Dash. What?
Yeah.
No.
They're not
no.
in the
I
same
mean,
bracket
yeah,
of
I
video
would-
games.
I can't argue against A Link to the Past, so and that's one of my favorite games too.
No,
I
like,
just-
Double Dash is.
But
the
do we
weakest
need
link on
three
the
Zelda games in this list? Is that okay?
I
Yes.
think those
That's-
three
we do.
Zelda games, though, are
Yeah.
like three of the
Yeah.
best games ever made.
Yes.
Oh,
You're
man,
gonna
so
pick
the
three.
answer
Those are
to
the three.
earlier of this is Zelda is looking like it's the winner.
It has to, I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, I was
really?
making a side list here of like games that no one said yet that like I'm looking at this list and I'm like, what is missing? And I'm like, I'm so
Yeah.
happy you brought Link to the Past because yes, it needs a place here. So
So this
All
brings
right.
us
I'm with
to Alana's final pick.
Yeah, this one's
What?
real spicy.
Oh,
This one's
fuck.
real spicy.
This list is so hard now.
Wii Sports, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sports.
Respect the pick.
Not only
Respect
is Wii Sports super fun, but it is the reason that an entire generation, being the older generation, got into video games. My mum has a Wii and a Wii U because of Wii Sports and then Wii Fit. So does my aunt. These are to sell video games to the older generation is so hard to do. One of the best-selling games of all time, one of the most accessible games of all time, where, you know, like I said, getting people who aren't gamers involved is concerned, and also very good for fitness. We're getting gamers healthy out here with Wii Sports.
Hell yeah.
I think,
Sports. We Fit maybe. Wii Sports.
but look what it
Sweat.
did, though. But look what it did. The Wii is one of the highest-selling consoles because of Wii Sports. That's the reality of it.
I'm
And
on board with Wii
you got
Sports
all
being
your
here.
favorites. You got bowling. You got golf. You got tennis. Everybody loves them.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Wii Sports. I think Wii Sports is a great game, but I think it's a great game for very specific of the sports. Like bowling and tennis are fun, and then the rest are kind of not.
I agree.
I don't
I'd
agree.
add
I
golf to the
disagree.
list though, but
Yeah,
And I
golf
think-
was good too.
And I think that like
Yeah.
if like all the games were bangers, like bowling and tennis were, I would agree with you. And I think that like what you're saying about like, you know, it selling Wii's and things like that is super important. But this list is stacked right now.
Well, Alana, what are you taking aim at? What are your crosshairs focused on? I think I already know, but
do
Wii
not
Sports.
do it. Do not do it, Alana.
There's
Wii
one
Sports is
game-
the fourth highest selling game of all time, and we're just gonna be
There's-
like, Yoshi's Island.
Get out of
Okay.
here. Get out of here.
There's-
No.
That's probably an 8.5 out of 10, Tim.
Oh.
It's a good game,
No.
Okay.
Look, here's my thing, Alana.
but it's not this good. It's not Wii Sports good, Tim. You
I
know
can
it.
see the argument that Yoshi's Island is a 9.5 out of 10. I get it's not a 10. I get that it's not in the same league as Mario 3 and Mario World and all that. I understand that. But when it comes to Wii Sports, the points you're making are very, 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 very valid. I understand, obviously, one of the biggest, highest selling games of all time. So important for video games as a whole, for widening the mainstream ability of them and all that stuff. But I would argue that when it comes to being a core Nintendo gamer, that was a bad thing. We got an entire generation plus of games that were all trying to chase the high of Wii Sports because of that. And then we didn't get games like Yoshi's Island for an entire generation and a half.
And
because
we're
of that.
better for it, Tim.
No, we
It's too many
aren't.
collectibles.
It is because of Wii Sports that we get Yoshi's Crafted World. I swear to God.
Listen, I'm okay. I am
That is a
okay with
good
Wii
game.
Sports not making it onto the list. I'm
No,
all right with it. I respect
think-
it, but it needed to be mentioned.
It does need to be mentioned.
There's one game that I think that I could easily like sleep at night, like, you know, if we replaced it with Wii Sports. But I think you're gonna all disagree with me.
I could get rid of Odyssey, dude. I could get rid of Odyssey.
Oh no, come on.
I don't know if I could do Odyssey.
Get Odyssey out of here.
I could
Get
get-
No
Odyssey
3D
outta
Mario
here.
at all?
Do we have
Get
three
Not
Odyssey?
Odyssey.
Do we have 3 Odyssey kickers?
Yes.
I would
No.
take Wii Sports over Odyssey.
Me too. Me too.
I'm not on board with that.
Me neither.
But I never wanted to argue against Odyssey because it feels like a losing fight.
All
But
right. So it's
Odyssey's
it's
feel it.
it's
So, wait,
it's
so
Yoshi's
how many
Island or
are-
Wii Sports. We're running close
So
on
how
time.
many people are Yoshi's Island? 2?
Who's for
What are you,
Yoshi's
Grayson?
Island?
Brendan, what are
Nah,
you?
It's
I'm
been
okay if it
so
goes
long.
on.
I'm fine
It's
with
been
Wii
so long
Sports
since
over
I
Yoshi's
played
Island.
it. It's been
I'm
so
also
long
fine
since I
with Wii
played it,
Sports
and I
over
just,
That's
Yoshi's
3.
Island.
Cam
It's
and Grayson.
Yoshi's
There we
Island.
go.
Y'all
Here.
Wii Sports
There we
on the
go.
top 10 Nintendo games list? All right, this is on y'all's
selling
podcast.
game of all time, Tim. It's a big deal.
It's
on the list.
iconic. It's
it on the
iconic.
It's on the list, Brendan. It's on the list.
It is a cultural phenomenon. I'm okay with this.
It is.
Super Mario Brothers 1 was also a cultural phenomenon. We're not
All
idiots.
right.
We're not putting it on the list.
We're all
I'm
we're all
going to
bad.
be
We're all
honest.
bad people. We're all bad people.
I didn't expect this to work, but it did.
And we're all better for it.
Cam,
Okay.
you need to
All right,
now
well, next.
plead your case for your third pick, Cam.
Oh man, knowing how hard we had to fight to get what was that Yoshi's Island off for Wii Sports, this is not gonna fucking get it. But I think it's the better game of those two as well. My last pick.
Are you
I
going
only
at
have-
Wii Sports with this?
No, this is. I mean,
Limited
I would
on
do this on-
time.
Yeah,
Oh,
go.
Okay. Super Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Oh no,
Um,
bye.
I think that this is an incredible game.
Well, the DS version or GBA version?
The GBA version, the GBA like like
Then
that's
why
the
you
version
pull
I
out the
played.
Nintendo DS version? What
I
the
don't
hell?
have the Game Boy Advance cartridge. I put it on
Well,
the Wii U.
don't show
Anyway,
it then.
The Listen, if you don't even have the
No.
cart, is it even good?
I played on the Wii U. I played on the Wii U. Anyway, so this game, so for me with Mario, it's like Mario games have like a problem with me to like be new and interesting, and the Superstar Saga was like the first game where I felt like that there was a bigger sense of identity of like Mario and Luigi as characters, and just like exploring through the Bean Bean Kingdom. I think the combat is amazing. I like how the final boss isn't Bowser. Like that was super great. I like how they just kind of play like where everyone knows Mario, and then like they don't really know Luigi, and they're like, "You're Luigi, right? You're Mario's brother." And that like the game is really funny and humorous. I really like don't remember any part of the game being a slog. Like it just like kind of flew by, and I just had a blast with it.
So what do you think it should be over?
In my opinion, I mean,
Dude, I love that game, but I don't know if it can take any of these spots.
I personally like. Listen,
I
like,
do also really like that game.
It is a
Me too.
fantastic
The,
game.
the
It's
combat
great.
was awesome. It was like up there kind of in vibe with RPG. Like it is a good game, but I also agree I don't know if it can take on any of these with confidence.
I think I still don't I still don't think Odyssey should be on this list personally, but that's
I'm with you, Cam, but I don't think we'll convince anyone
So we
else
get
of
two
that.
for,
We can
two
try.
for booting Odyssey. Anyone else?
But
I
I
am not
also
on
wouldn't
board.
put this game over Odyssey. Like I don't know that Odyssey belongs here, but I
Yeah.
don't think this would be the one to replace it.
I'll take it.
I tried. I knew it was gonna happen. I was just like, oh, there's
It was
no
a
way.
valiant effort. It was a valiant effort.
I didn't think Wii Sports was going to happen, but here we are.
But like seriously, like if you haven't played Superstar Saga on 3DS or Wii U, Game Boy Advance, whatever you want to play,
It's a great
like,
game.
This is a phenomenal game.
It's fantastic. Lily, your final,
Yes.
arguably most chaotic pick. Plead your case.
So I actually was gonna go with the chaotic pick, and then I realized I should probably take this a little bit more seriously,
Okay.
you know? So
Pulling an audible.
I'm actually
I love
gonna go with GoldenEye 007 for the N64. Arguably
fucking
one of the
game.
best multiplayers that we've ever had. The single player is just as fantastic. It is the third best-selling game on the N64. It has so many different ways of playing. Like normal for the multiplayer mode, normal, you can only live twice. Like there's so many different things. It's set like such a precedent. Like you can everyone mentions it. It's something that you should always be playing. I think it's supposed like I think it should be on the list for sure. I just think like there's just so many other reasons. I'm like really bad at explaining my cases about games. It's just like I really
GoldenEye
love
is great.
GoldenEye.
I'm on board
Yeah.
with
Perfect
GoldenEye.
Dark was better, but GoldenEye is very good.
I just think it's one of the most memorable games. It's one of like besides Mario Party, because Mario Party was my first game.
Oh my
that
god,
I
we
ever
didn't
played on the
mention Mario
N64.
Party?
Listen,
Jesus.
I thought about it.
Eh.
But like honestly, like Mario
Yeah.
Party, and then there's like Mario Party 2, and I think Mario Party 2 is ultimately the better one.
It
But then
is,
also
it
at the
is.
same time,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
is it better than a lot of the other games that we're thinking in this whole time? I don't really
Also,
know.
no Banjo. No Jet
Yeah.
Force Gemini.
No Earthbound.
But
so
I
far.
just
No,
want to
I'm
say
Making good
like,
decisions today, man.
So what are you
I just
trying to
think
bump
that-
off for GoldenEye, Lily?
if wait, what were you gonna say, Cam?
My thing with GoldenEye is that I think while I agree with everything that you said, I think it's a product of its time, and I think that all these other games you could easily play today and they all hold up like as if they just came out.
GoldenEye is the
I mean, it
most
suffers-
poorly aged game of all time. It's like
And it's
That is
unfortunate.
I don't
true.
think there's ever been
Yeah.
a video game that is that much a 10 out of 10 that if you play now is like a 3 out of 10.
It is rough.
I mean,
The-
you also
the-
can't argue that it sparked that kind of multiplayer setting because really Doom did. It wasn't GoldenEye that did that. It's just GoldenEye popularized it. And again, I do think Perfect Dark is the better game of the two anyway.
Well, I think that the only reason why Perfect Dark exists is because of GoldenEye. Like, I think many can argue that because Perfect Dark came out after. I will say that
pretty
the
close,
reason why
though.
I think GoldenEye should be on the list is because, like, unfortunately, it is a sufferer of the product of its time, but it is also unfortunate that the HD remaster never came out.
And
It
it's
was
3 years
listed
apart.
to happen, but it wasn't. It just like didn't have the It just got canceled. It
I'd
is
put GoldenEye
unfortunate.
instead of Odyssey. I would do it.
I can't.
I mean,
I
I
would.
can't do that. I love GoldenEye, but I can't do
know.
that.
I think Odyssey should
I
be
don't even
removed
think
in
I don't even think
general.
Odyssey should be on this list, and I can't.
I
Wanna
agree.
take it off,
far-
not even
you're
replace it
past
with
that
anything.
argument, Kim.
Let's
So
just
we're-
take it off and have it just a 9.
no.
Just a top 9.
So we're locking it in as not in order: Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, Wii Sports, A Link to the Past, Heart Gold, Soul Silver,
Wait, was that the last game?
Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Metroid,
I
Super
think
Smash
that we
Bros.
should-
Ultimate, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Mario Odyssey.
Can we
I
go
think
over